Hey, welcome back. Week 3 of the quarantine reading list. I got 3 ebooks for you this time so that you don't have to go to a bookstore, because you can't. The bookstores aren't open right now. So I'm going to give you some links to these. Before I do that, though, let me just say thank you to those of you who joined me for the live stream show on Friday. Had a lot of fun, and we raised over $1,000 for Isla. So thanks for that, and congratulations on that. All right, so the books for this week are about fixing problems in society. And 2 of them I've read. One of them I'm currently reading. One of them I'm like a chapter into. So the first one that I'm going to start with is by Ashraf Ghani and Claire Lockhart. And it's called Fixing Failed States. And you know the name Ashraf Ghani because he's the current president of Afghanistan. And before he was the president of Afghanistan, he was a professor of anthropology at Johns Hopkins University. He worked at the World Bank. He's generally a leading intellectual internationally. And currently he's brokering peace talks with the Taliban. And if you followed the process since he's become president of Afghanistan, you know he's made a lot of mistakes. It's a hard job, I can imagine. But this book was written back in 2005 before he became the president of Afghanistan. And I read it last year. It's kind of a dense book, but it's really interesting. It's got presents some solutions to fixing problems in broken countries. So let me show you what it looks like. This is Fixing Failed States. This is what the ebook looks like right here. Fixing Failed States by Ashraf Ghani and Claire Lockhart. And it is, I'll kind of give you an idea about what it sounds like for the intro here. Let's see. All right, so Fixing Failed States. We have a collective problem. Oh, hold on. There we go. Battery's dying. We'll see if this makes it. All right, we have a collective problem. 40 to 60 states, home to nearly 2 billion people, are either sliding backward and teetering on the brink of implosion or have already collapsed. While one half of the globe has created an almost seamless web of political, financial, and technological connections that underpin democratic states and market-based economies, the other half is blocked from political stability and participation in global wealth. And then it goes on to provide some solutions to these problems. Highly recommend it. It's a really fascinating read for a current political leader. All right, book 2. You've heard of this one, and it's a great book, and it's called I Am Malala by Malala Yousafzai. Now, she is the youngest recipient of the Nobel Peace Prize ever. She wrote this book. Well, here, let me show you the ebook real quick. So, where's it at? Here she is. All right, so this is Malala right here. And the book is called I Am Malala, the girl who stood up for education and was shot by the Taliban. This one's much different than Fixing Failed States. This one's more accessible. It's an easier read. And so it's the title kind of gives you an idea about what it's about. So she was shot on her way to, or I think from school, on the school bus by the Taliban. And she was shot in the face, and she survived. And she lived to tell her tale, and she became an international activist for education, for women's rights, for girls' rights in terms of getting an education. So this is a great book. Highly recommend it, and give you a link for it if you haven't read it. All right, and then the third book for this week is one that I just started recently, and it's about the United States. It's called The Great Democracy. Hold on, let me find it for you. Yeah, The Great Democracy. I don't exactly know how to pronounce the author's last name. It's Ganesh Sitaraman, I think. If you've heard his name before, you may have, because he was one of the policy advisors for Elizabeth Warren's campaign. And he's a great writer so far. I've read about a chapter of this. So it's The Great Democracy, How to Fix Our Politics, Unrig the Economy, and Unite America. That sounds good, huh? So here is the beginning of this. All right, so here's the introduction. This is not an ordinary political moment. Everywhere around us, the old order is collapsing. The golden age of post-war economic growth is over, replaced by a new gilded age of inequality and stagnation. The long march toward justice and equality now faces intolerant resistance storming the streets. People once united by common culture and information are now fractured into social media echo chambers, so on and so forth. But it provides, again, some solutions to these problems that we're facing. So here are 3 books, and they're ebooks that you can actually read this time. If you just click the link that I'm going to put at the bottom of the Song of the Week Club post that I'm going to do. And I highly recommend any of these books for the moment that we're in right now. Solutions to problems. So anyway, beyond that, I've also got a song that I've already played for you. I played it before I went on the run on the piano. It's called That Baby is a Thief. It's for my friends who have babies, or anyone that's got a baby, or anyone that likes silly songs. All right, I'm gonna maybe put that one after this, maybe before this video in the timeline. So beyond that, let me just say, hang in there. You guys are doing great, and there's a lot of people who are helping each other, and there's a lot of really good news that's coming out of this whole thing. So you know what they say, look for those helpers, look for the people who are doing good things. A lot of you are doing that, so keep it up, and see you next week. I appreciate you. Goodbye. I saw with my own eyes. It was fine when I got up and walked away, but now that baby's crying like a banshee in a bad mood. I think that it can tell that I'm fool enough to stay. I took that baby bowling, I took that baby fishing, but now it won't stop crying, and my wallet is missing. That baby's a liar. That baby's a thief. That baby's a no good, stinky, rotten liar. That baby's a thief. That baby's a thief. I know you said you'd give a bottle to the baby, and baby, this I promise you, I swear to God that I did. I never did nobody wrong, you know I am an honest man. How can you let that liar ruin my good name? I took that baby to the park, I took that baby along, but now it won't stop screaming, and my